Hello. This book of Cézanne in Provence is an excellent book if you're interested in Cézanne as a painter overall. So Cézanne painted landscapes, figurative pieces. He had a bathers series and still life. And this is really about his life when he moved to Provence. And it's also in a way a pictorial biography of Cézanne, in that it starts off with the early stuff. It starts off with providing Cézanne's career in context of, like, say, Manet, and then like his own kind of like interpretation copy of the Manet's what is it, Déjeuner sur Herbe. And so then this is Cézanne's version. And so this is an excellent book because it's very biographical, and it covers from Cézanne's youth and his growing up in Provence, and then like it talks about the context too. Like they'll have they talk about how he grew up in relationship to what was going on with Courbet, and then other, like, Poussin, what was going on, overall in art, and then his work in when he went back, when he was in Provence. And what I love about this book is that it really shows the entire body of Cézanne's work. It covers his still lifes, which are, to me, as a still life artist, that is what I'm drawn to with his work. I love how he gathers all these items and elements and puts them into a story. And like what's fascinating is like the kitchen table. This still life is very reminiscent of the Dutch still lifes of, like, they would have like the market stall, the meat stall, or the kitchen table, and it would have a similar kind of like a simple still life like that. And so Cézanne was a prolific and varied artist, and he did all these wonderful landscapes. And this book is phenomenal because the quality of the images in this book are just so good, and they really cover everything. They cover his, like, completed, like some of his big famous completed paintings, and then they even acknowledge like some of his watercolor sketches and drawings. And so this book is an excellent book if you kind of want to understand Cézanne holistically, his and everything he did. They do, of course, cover some of his still life, which I'm very thankful for, because I love his work. He did figurative portraits and figurative pieces, so they cover that as well. This is an excellent book if you like Cézanne and you want to know more about him, especially about when he was living in Provence. This is the book to get, in a way. And like, I really like one of the things as a creative, as an artist, I love being able to be a detective and look at incomplete paintings. And I love that this book has those as well as those sketches that he took, and his watercolors. And this is an excellent book. So I think, and it shows several of his watercolors. And this book starts at his childhood and it goes to his late works at the very end of his work. And here's an example. He did a ton of his bather series, and again, it talks about and shows it in context of what was being done, what was being created simultaneously by different artists in France or in Europe, just in general. And this is a Gustave Courbet, and but of bathers, and then you've got the Cézanne version, and just a wonderful book. And if you like Cézanne, I would encourage you to get it. And again, like I have it tabbed, because I'm a still life artist, I have it tabbed for the still life images in this book, because those are what gather my interest the most. But yeah, and then the last essay is about his later life in the very final landscapes he did, and this is a poignant chapter, and this is a great book. And then they have the chronology of his career too, which as an artist I love reading about that as well. So if you like Cezanne and you want a good book that kind of covers his entire arc of his career, Cézanne in Provence is an excellent choice.